Welcome to Britpop Banter, another special for us, continuing our run of interviewing great artists and bands. We have one of our absolute favourites here, Mercury Machine, with us today, and we'll play some tunes off their first album, discuss their new EP, and generally just have a bit of a chat, ask a few questions, get
Ask
to
the
know
tough
them.
questions.
Absolutely. So with us, we've got two members of the band. So we've got Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hello there. How you doing?
Well, thank you. And we've got Carl as well. Hi, Carl.
Hi. Hey, everyone.
And we've also got Kev.
Oh, don't say it like that.
So hi, Kev.
Thank you.
So let's get cracking. Kev, kick us off. You've got a couple of questions. Get stuck in.
Yeah, look, thank you very much, guys. It's great to have you on the show. Honestly, your debut album is just on constant repeat with both me and Leslie. And also, you guys are just releasing a new EP as well, which we're going to play a bit of around the show as well, which we're really excited about. But if we can just go back to the start, what can you sort of tell us around how you guys came to be Mercury Machine and how you formed as a band? And I don't know which one of you wants to take the lead on that one and tell us
Probably
a little bit.
Carl on that, I reckon.
Yeah. I'll take this one. Okay, so myself and lead singer Lee, we've known each other for over 30 years. We literally grew up a street apart. He was a little bit older than me, so he was kind of getting into music before me. He was in bands, and I was always a little bit jealous that, I was listening to his music. I was a bit starstruck, in my kind of early years. And I always wish that, at one point in the future, I'll be able to be in a band with Lee. So finally got the opportunity many years later. I think it was around 2003, and Lee had just formed a band called The Grain and was looking for a bass player. Now, I wasn't a bass player. I was an acoustic guitarist, so it was a bit of a shift to start playing the bass. But he gave me a week to learn all the songs before the first gig, so that was quite.
That was nice.
Yeah, managed to do it though, and I think I did quite well. So that was kind of the first time that Lee and I came together. But even before that, Lee was in a band in the '90s with our drummer Gav in a band called Alone, and they were quite successful. They signed a publishing deal with Sony BMG, and they went on. They supported Bon Jovi.
Wow.
That's a big claim to fame, that one, the supporting Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
A couple of beers in and it always comes out.
Yeah, I get the feeling you hear that a lot.
Me and John are besties.
Incidentally, a bit of an anecdote here is Lee's partner was actually, so many years before they got together, was actually at that gig. So she actually saw Lee perform many years before they became.
It was her first live gig, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Wow!
Yeah.
What a great
Written in the
story.
stars.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lee and Gav played together in the '90s. Myself and Lee played together, in a band in the early noughties. But then onto Mercury Machine. So this kind of project started. I think it's around 2010.
Right.
And initially it was kind of an electronic dance project. We were all just kind of in the studio. Lee would take the lead on kind of constructing kind of electronic music, and we'd invite vocalists and just have an array of talented vocalists to lay vocals over the tracks. And I mean, fast forward a few years, and we actually started to experiment a little bit and add guitars and things like that. And we thought, hang on, we can actually we can transition this into kind of a full band here. So we started calling on different artists, guitarists, drummers, and whatnot, and we spent a couple of years refining all the songs before playing our first gig in 2014. as Mercury Machine, and the only it was only myself and Lee and three other people that are not currently in Mercury Machine were in the band at that point. There have been a few kind of iterations of the band since then. The current lineup with Tim, who's in this interview too, Kay, the keyboard player, and Gav. I think, Tim, did you join? Was it around 2015?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago now. So yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So we put an ad out on like a musician kind of website, and we were inundated with potential. That's a bit of a lie. I think we had about.
Is that actually true?
That's true. I think we had about 3 people. But as soon as Tim walked into the room and kind of had a bit of a jam, we knew we liked him. He was a great guitarist, and we thought, yeah, this is the guy for us. And then we had the kind of drummer leave around 2017, and then Lee just called on his old friend Gav from his 90s band Alone, and Gav at the time was just kind of picking up the drums. He was just starting to get into the drums. So he's like, yeah, do you want to come and audition? And then Gav came in, played along, and yeah, he's still with us. And then the keyboard player left around 2017, 2018, and a kind of a friend of Lee's, Cade, somebody that he used to kind of teach, joined us as the keyboard player. So our current lineup we've been the current lineup for about 3 years now.
Wow, I had no idea that it was going back to 2010 odd. Has the sound changed? Obviously, with the new members of the band and in and out and all that sort of stuff. Was the original theme or the sound of the band roughly the same, or is it a complete change from where you were back then?
My opinion on that, I guess, would be it's a continual evolution. And I'd say the new EP has been part of that, because obviously you bring new people in with new perspectives, and there's a new dynamic between the people in the band as well. You know, we've spent quite a lot of time together now over the last few years and done a lot of gigs and stuff like that. So that's brought us together as people, which then I think reflects in the sound and its development as well. But it's also quite interesting, because what Lee was doing during that time, he did actually have a studio. So he was in a studio and was doing production stuff as well, and then rehearsal rooms. So there was he spent a lot of time with sound and the dance music and the electronic music, and the passion that he's got around synthesizers, which is obviously within Mercury Machine, is also across a massive amount of music that he's actually done over the years. So yeah, there's a huge. He was a teacher as well, so he was teaching in schools and things. So that musicality is within the music, but also within the band, and then so there is a continual evolution, I guess, of the sound with people in it as well, I would say.
And what about the name Mercury Machine? Where did that come from?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. So the Mercury Machine was the nickname given to the first commercial computer that was made in Manchester. I think it was around the 50s. It was the Ferranti Mark II, but the nickname, because of the kind of mercury element to the computer, it was nicknamed the Mercury Machine. So because we were moving more towards this kind of electronic type or computer-aided kind of synthesized music, and that we were a Manchester band, we just thought it was a nice fitting name.
And you can go to the Science Museum here and actually see like the early version of that computer, and it's just really it's really nice. You can see
cool.
that idea.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah. It's awesome. So talk us through, I guess, who are some of the like bands or artists, I guess, that have influenced you and your sound?
Yeah, I think we've all got quite different influences. To give you an example, we've been asked this question before, and then Gav replied with Whitesnake. So,
yeah, I get that.
Amazing. That's on record now.
Yeah, it's and so which obviously doesn't necessarily sound in the sound, but then if you hear him play the drums, it does a bit really. So it's quite different. I mean, obviously with the music itself, that the key driver for that is Lee's vision for the band and his songwriting and composition, and his he has a classical background as well, and he's also into kind of Giorgio Moroder, the dance stuff and electronic things with that. There's Kraftwerk and things that are also influences for the band. There's Manchester bands, which I think we've got a bit of that, attitude when we're playing, and things are in it as well. What else? He's into all sorts. So there's a film called Smile he was showing me with the other day. I think he's an Australian guy, actually. He's like a piano player. That he's really, is it Hegoth or something that he's into? So it's quite diverse for the things. That would be my part.
You get compared to Depeche Mode a lot. Do you agree with that? And how does that make you feel?
Good.
That'd be horrible if you said shit.
They're awful. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I think Depeche Mode is a good comparison. Obviously we're different as well, but one thing that again it's really key to the band is the melody, and it's not just the melody within the vocal lines. If you listen to me, there's a lot of detail in it. And the melody itself is something that's really, really thought about in detail. There's nothing in any of the recordings that Lee hasn't gone over 1,000,000% in his mind as to why it's there and how the sound is constructed. I should say he suffers from autism a bit as well. So that's in part, you can hear that detail and attention to detail in the sound. Right. So, the melody itself is really central to that, and I think that's something with Depeche Mode as well. Like the layers of the melodies and the way they work with each other is something that was probably a comparison we'd be really pleased about, I think. Yeah,
I bet. So a shout out to our friend Chris over at the Soundtrack to a Life podcast. We think he nailed it by describing you guys as the best soundtrack to a sexy 80s vampire movie that never got made. You've even got that on your website. But how did you feel when you first heard that?
We spoke about it. We loved it. He totally he nailed it. It was like, it really, like, sometimes you get feedback that makes you realise what it is that you're doing. And like that really helps clarify it, actually. I just thought it was really good.
That's awesome. Well, let's play something from your debut album. We can let listeners decide. We'd love to play Fictional Mind. So here is Fictional Mind.
Some ability, I see potential in a piece of coal. I will find the hope in a black hole. Anxiety is a shadow. It finds a way to reach out, to touch me, caress me, to tell me what the truth is. Your name is fear. I find myself in your world. In this time, in this room, I'm running with a fictional mind. Your name is fear. Please tell me why you brought me here. In this room, in this life, I'm running with a fictional mind. disguise yourself as a good friend. Reality as a new tale. You point the way, lift the veil. I stand before you, not for the first time, and without defense won't be the last time. Your name is fear. I find myself in your world, in this time, in this room. I'm running with a fictional mind. Your name is fear. Tell me why you brought me here, in this room, in this life. I'm running with a fictional mind. Running with a fictional mind. Running with a fictional mind.
So personally, I was obviously listening to your first album, but then was listening to other tracks on Spotify, and I listened to your cover of Power of Love, which I loved because I actually am a big sucker for that song, and any song that's been a Christmas number one, to be quite honest. But what inspired you to do that cover?
Oh, I think it's just because we all absolutely love that song. It's an absolute banger of a song, and Lee just kind of went away and did that. You know, he didn't really say to anybody that he was doing it, and then all of a sudden he'd kind of put it together really, really quickly. And as soon as he played it, I remember listening to it and thinking, "Oh my God, that's better than the original." And I've got to say that
I actually think it could be.
a few people have said that, but I actually, what I was really drawn in by was the strength of his vocal. For me, having spent many years with Lee, I just thought he absolutely nailed the vocal on it. I thought it was his best vocal take ever. And with every song that he's written since, I've always kind of referenced back to that. Like, let's get that vocal as good as you did on Power of Love.
Yeah, it's awesome. Any other Christmas songs that you'd like to cover, or just that one?
I think we'll just leave it at that one for now.
Yeah.
No Slade? Not a bit of Slade? No?
No, I think we were talking about trying to do a video for that at one point, like quite a cheesy Christmas video at the background. I can't remember whose idea it was, but I remember it being shot down with flames.
No, I loved it. I loved that track. So, but Kev and I, we've picked our favourite songs from the debut album to play. My pick is Where It Ends. So before we play that, can you just tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah, I think, again, lyrically for that, my understanding was that was in relation to particular relationships, I think, that Lee had. And then it was just a song about that getting to the point where something needed to change. Yeah, and then obviously the parts, I guess my relationship with the songs is generally the musical parts in it as well. So that's obviously because I'm playing the guitar part. So I guess my version of that song is I really like the fact that it goes from really low guitar parts up to kind of high parts as well, which I'd say is quite typical of the sound we've got, because it's again that orchestral thing where you can hear things in the low end, but then also there's things that go right up into the high parts as well, and the relationship between those is like really carefully thought out. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. Well, it's my favourite song on the debut album, so we'll play it. So here is Where It Ends.
I see the seeds of doubt growing, spreading out. The color of the truth, invisible to you. Rage will tear us down and leave us on the ground. let them feelings out, growing, spreading out. I hide them here from you, the things you have to prove. Gotta let them feelings out. You see I'm full of contradictions, so you put me on trial. Always reacting to the people that are in my life, and never know, never learn. This is where it ends. I will not be controlled. This is where it ends. The self-destructive hold. You think it's closing in? Too much love to tame, need to blame. I lost myself and you need to prove. I found myself again, not the same. I was never whole as my goal, and you were on your own, on your own. I wish my life away every day, never really knowing what to say. I was never fun, never done. I couldn't sleep, my head was spun. It's always been that way with me. I know I'm full of contradictions, so I put me on trial. Always reacting to the people that are in my life, and never known, never learned. This is where it ends. I will not be controlled. Yeah, this is where it ends. The self-destructive hold. Dependence from him, reacting to them, reacting to all things, the things that are best, the feeling of peace, the feeling of joy must come from within, from within. From within, from within, from within. I know I'm full of contradictions, so I put me on trial. Always reacting to the people that are in my life, and never known, never learned. Yeah, this is where it ends. I will not be controlled. Yeah, this is where it ends. Self-destructive hold. This is where it ends. Will not be controlled. Yeah, this is where it ends. The self-destructive hold.
So who, these days in music, who are you fans of, or who are you listening to at this moment?
Yeah, so I guess I really like Brian Eno at the moment. I'm really into Brian Eno, and I try to. I listen to all sorts of music, but I also listen to things that I think might help inform what we might do with the band and what's moving forward. So, like for some of the newer tracks, there's more of a focus from my guitar parts on putting some more kind of atmospheric backdrop and colours and textures over the back of it, because there's so much melody in the songs. Like there's a lot of space that needs some kind of landscape with it, and I think it fits with that whole kind of soundtrack idea as well. So because of that, I've really been getting into Brian Eno recently, and just really the way that he uses sound, and also like Radiohead also with like Ed O'Brien, and the way that he has his guitar parts that create an expansive kind of textures over the back. Because obviously the detail bits that are there as well, but it's kind of the contrast between that. So at the moment, that would be something that I'm really into listening to things like that at the moment. Yeah.
Have you listened to Ed's newest solo album?
Yeah,
we reviewed that on the podcast.
Oh,
what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it's interesting because I quite liked early Radiohead as well. And I don't know, some people, the journey they've been through insane, really, and in a good way.
Yeah.
But even some of the early songs I really like because I just thought they were well written, catchy tunes. And I remember going to watch them even in the early days, and I think I felt I could hear some of that in his songwriting and the way that these were put together through his newer stuff that was sort of reminiscent of some of the earlier Radiohead stuff. So it took it back to a different place, really. So yeah, I quite liked it. I thought it was good. But for me, like his genius is the bit where he's just adding little touches of sound in things on some of the Radiohead things, and then you find out it was him that's done it in the background, and it's really, really good. Yeah. What did you guys think of it?
We might move on.
No,
Really?
no. Look, no.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was for me. It was hit and miss. There were some really great tracks, and there were other ones where some of them didn't make a lot of sense to us. Like some of them sounded like definitely you could hear the Radiohead, or it certainly could have appeared on later Radiohead albums. But some of them there were misses for me. A couple of them.
Do you know what it is? So I reckon for me that was a combination of what they are as a band, because there were certain things, like you could hear stuff that sounded a bit like U2 or something like that, which was not necessarily my thing that I'd be that into. But then the little touches of sound that seemed to work really well in the context of the the other people in the band, it really works. But when it's just him doing that, perhaps not as strong in some of those elements.
I think from memory, I was a little bit more positive than Les, and I think it was almost like your high school report card where it was, you show potential, and there's moments because there was. I'm looking at the listing now. Shangri-La in Brazil were amazing songs, and then I think there was other songs that didn't quite hit the mark, and so I think this is, it's his first solo album. It's great, but I want to see more.
And it's anyways, go on.
No, keep going. I apologize. Keep going.
Well, no, he's put himself in a situation now, isn't he, where he's got so much more pressure on him than he would be as an early artist going into his first solo album, just because of that. Whereas the developmental stage of the songwriting and everything else is obviously probably a relatively early stage versus what he's been doing in Radiohead for so long.
Absolutely. And Carl, coming back to you, who's on your Spotify most listened to list?
So I'm going through a bit of a melancholic stage at the minute. Perhaps I'm just feeling sorry for myself with all the lockdown business and COVID-19. But yeah, I've always been a fan of. I echo what Tim was saying there about Radiohead, and particularly the kind of the Bends and OK Computer. And today, they're just absolutely incredible albums. As well as that, Jeff Buckley, and also, it's already come up in this chat, Depeche Mode. I've kind of there's been, despite of having a bit of a Depeche Mode kind of sound, I've not really been back in touch with Depeche Mode for a few years, but more recently. I've just been kind of on YouTube and just whacking them on, and I've just fell in love with them again. How amazing are Depeche Mode? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
What's you touched on, and normally we don't tend to go down the COVID path because probably everyone's tapped out a bit. But how have you guys kept going as a band and also produced an EP, through COVID and isolation?
Yeah,
it's been a challenge.
It's been a challenge, yeah. From the EP part, I guess what we had to do there, we started working with the producer on this EP. He's a guy that has been working with Lee and Carl and Gab for a while with other things. But we were obviously able to go down to his studio at the start of this, which was very useful. But then as it progressed, we weren't able to do that, so we had to do it remotely. So I was recording parts in my flat here, and then liaising with Lee, worked out a way to be able to send the different parts to him, and then obviously talked about what we were doing and feeding it back. So it was a challenge, but in a weird way, it added to some of the themes that are probably within the EP around, I would say, isolation and stuff like that, which is something we've said before about the music. It had a role in a way as well in what we were doing with the music and how we were putting it together.
So just we will come to the EP, and we want to play some tracks off that. But just coming back to the release of your debut album back in 2019, how did you feel getting that out, and what was the reception like to that album?
For me, it was fantastic to get that out. I can still remember very vividly the CDs arriving and unpacking them in my flat, and it's a wonderful sense of achievement to do that, to have like something, you know, that when you've been in bands for lots of years, when you get that moment and you've got like the work's all been done, of which was an extremely intensive period of time for everybody. It's particularly, you know, if you're doing your jobs and stuff as well, like fitting in the time that you need to get music to something that you're really proud of is a lot of work. And to get that at the end of it was fantastic. And I think we were all really pleased with it. And to be able to sit down and listen to the album and feel really good about it was great. And yeah, and it was a catalyst to a lot of other really positive things for us really throughout the whole year.
So we'll want to play another track from the album before we start to dig into the EP. We'll play Kev's favourite, so yes. It's Black and White World. What can you tell us about that?
In terms of this one, for what it's about, again, from Lee's perspective, this is really, I guess, some of this does link in with Lee. He would talk a lot about his relationship with the world and socially in particular can be a challenge. In part because of the autism that I mentioned. So some of those things around the difficulty with social interaction comes out across a lot of the songs, and some frustration. You can probably hear that a bit in the new EP as well. So one of this as well with the whole idea of kind of black and white world and the way that people would see things in a binary form rather than being considerate about each other and thinking about things on a deeper level is really the overriding theory behind the lyrics of the song as well. And I like it because it's quite anthemic. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, the same. It's excellent to hear the meaning behind the track. I think that's added a whole new layer to my appreciation of the song. But you nailed it. It's anthemic. I mean, every time I hear that, I just want to belt it out. It's a fantastic song, and that's why it's my favorite off that. So we'll just quickly play Black and White World.
Not a black and white world, it's all made of grey. Not a black and white world, it's all made of grey. Are you the judge and the jury? You see intentions like they're nothing. It's not a black and white world, it's all made of grey. Not a black and white world. It's not a black and white world. It's not a black and white world. It's all made of grey. 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 wide world. It's all made of grey. It's what you don't know that you don't know. It always leads you astray. Are you the judge and the jury? You see intentions like they're nothing. It's not a black and white world. It's all made of grey. It's all made of grey.
So let's talk about the new EP. It's called Ascend. It's out on the 3rd of July. Talk to us about that. And why an EP, I guess, and not, is there an album coming after it? Talk us through that.
Yeah, so there's an album's worth of material. As I said, Lee's got more music in various places all over his house and in his computer than you can imagine. And there's you know, a lot of songs on there that we just need to work on and take to the next level. And you know, there's stuff we're working on at the moment. Already, like this week, we've been doing some more stuff on a new song there, and some other ones that we know I think have probably got quite catchy to them as well. So there's lots of material there. The reason an EP, I guess, is just because there's a couple of. I mean, it's to keep getting things out. Like we need to keep getting new music out, and that's something that obviously is good for us because it gives us opportunities to speak to guys like yourselves and talk about what we're doing and explain the story of it, and it keeps the momentum up a bit. But also, our process of putting music together it does require a lot of time and attention to detail. So that's the thing that we've realised with the music, in part because Lee is a perfectionist, and you know the new producer would testament to that as well. So we you know which is a benefit in the end, but it does mean that we're doing a lot of work and focusing on until things are really right with it. And then also just the nature of the music as well means that it takes a bit of time to actually put together. And so because of that, obviously managing time and making that happen is important. So we want to do that in the context of continually releasing stuff as well.
Yeah, awesome. So we want to play Broken, so it's the lead track. So before we do, like the other tracks, just talk us through that. What's Broken about?
So Broken is, Broken's a bit of a rant, really. So it's about all the different people across society with kind of egos and whatnot, and you know, just kind of traits that kind of really piss us off. And that's what this song is about, really. It's quite inadvertently fitting with kind of the times at the minute. You know, I think, you know, people are a little bit broken now with you know, the way that the world is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. When this came together, it was quite funny. Last year we ended up doing a gig with a guitarist, in a band called Sulphur, who's a guy who heads up is a guy called Rob Holiday, and he's done loads of stuff. Like he toured with Marilyn Manson and The Prodigy for years and stuff. And he's a nice guy, and basically we ended up doing a couple of gigs with him. And then Lee was listening to some of their tunes as well. They'd be a fair bit heavier than us. But while we were doing those gigs with them, Lee was listening to some of their tunes and the way they put some things together, and he was really inspired by that. So some of the harsher keyboard parts that you'll hear in the song, some of the melodic ideas and things like that, it was an influence from Sulphur, basically.
Yeah, a bit of an industrial sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that industrial thing.
Well, I think it's a cracking track and certainly an amazing way to start the EP. So let's play it. Here's Broken.
Everyone knows that you're there. Get as much attention so you can show you don't care. People condescending so they can show their IQ. Opinions never ending, 'cause all should listen to you. dance in the lead role. 'Cause you're the only one in pain. Everyone climbing and something that's shining while chaos is rising and you're still there smiling. Everyone is broken. Everyone's insane. You don't know you're broken. You don't know you're insane. You're insane. You're insane. You're insane. Everyone is broken, dying in slow motion. Everyone's a legend, no one can be questioned. All lost in obsession, miserable depression. Every word that's spoken, you don't know you're broken. Everyone climbing and something that's shining while chaos is rising and you're still there smiling. Everyone is broken. Everyone's insane. You don't know you're broken. You don't know you're insane. Everyone is broken, dying in slow motion. You don't know you're broken. You don't know you're insane.
There's a bit in Broken, which I think is about the 3 minute mark, where the drums kick in, and I'm a big fan of the dance act, the Orbital, and there's this synth and the drums that just kick in. I just God, that just blows my mind, and it comes out of nowhere on the track, and it just reminds me of the Orbital, and I just love it. It's a cracking tune. Which sort of brings me on to this. Your band that I think would be amazing to see live. Like there's just these acts that you get from their music that would be amazing live. What's it like seeing you play live? And are you a band that sort of prefers to play live, or are you in the studio behind the scenes?
I think that's different for each of us. Like I love playing live. I think Lee would say that he'd prefer to be in the studio, to be honest. But when we get him out there, when we get him out there, the man is to he always gets really stressed beforehand. But if I'm being honest, sometimes I quite like it because it means he's more intense than when as he's performing.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's again been something that's evolving over the time that we're together now and we're playing together more and we've done more things. And I think that the reaction that we get from people has grown in its strength as well. So it is something that's, a good thing, I guess.
What does the rest of the year look like for you guys? Hoping that all of us get out of isolation and COVID passes. What's the sort of next 6 months look for you guys?
Well, we've got a really exciting thing happening actually, which we're doing an announcement this afternoon on. We're on BBC Manchester this afternoon, and basically, which is good stuff. And we were actually asked to go and play in Japan.
What?
So basically, there's a music conference in Japan in Osaka, And the guys who organised that, we've sort of developed a bit of a relationship with a Japanese band, because it was something that we've got some interest in the band on Japanese culture and stuff and anime and things like that. So it was something we were really interested in. So anyway, through various things that have happened, this band have got a promoter and manager who also happens to organise an international music conference. So he asked us to go over there and play in September at this conference, which is in front of the Japanese music industry, which we were obviously really excited about, also because of the whole thing about the sound as well and the synths and things. We think that might be a really good match. So that's all great and wonderful. The only thing was, of course, with the COVID thing, what that's meant is some of their funding has gone. But however, it is all still happening. So, but we're doing it. We're live streaming. So we're going to be live streaming from Manchester to this Japanese conference, which is still going ahead all online across 3 days. And then we're going to try and do that from a really decent, iconic Manchester venue as well, and potentially get a few like fans in to watch the performance. And then the great thing is we'll get to stream it live to Japan in September, which is pretty great, really. And we're also getting some Japanese drummers from a group that are not too far away to also join us on a track as well. So that's quite positive.
Congratulations, guys! That is phenomenal. Do you think so? Would we, outside of that, would you stream the gig so anyone can sort of have a watch?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to put all the connection up to it, and then we're going to try and make it as good a quality as well in terms of what we do and how we construct it. So yeah, the idea that anybody can then tune in on the particular time that it's happening.
Oh, well done, guys! That's awesome news.
That's awesome. Look forward to that. It's great news. And like finally, as you know, we are a Britpop podcast. Who were your standouts from that era, and were you into? Well, first of all, were you into Britpop, and secondly, if you were, who were your key standout bands of that era?
So for me, I was really kind of getting into music when it was kind of Oasis versus Blur. And
who is it? Oasis or Blur?
It was Blur. I on my roots, because I would just prefer I just prefer Blur's more experimenting with Britpop compared to to Oasis. I know. Oh.
Les, you got to pick better guests because so far they've all been Team Blur.
This is insane. This is insane. That's not the answer I was expecting. But anyway. Anyone else?
Yeah. So, sorry, Carl, you go.
No, I'm over to you, Tim.
I was really into Britpop, I guess. So I was into all sorts of brands there. But do you know, just thinking and listening to the other day was Manson. Do you remember Manson?
Oh, my favourite band. My favourite.
Yeah, yes. that album was like really something. I remember, and it was played quite a lot. I was also quite a big Primal Scream fan, so I don't know whether you classify them as Britpop.
Yes.
Well, we did, and we got slated for it, but we did it anyway.
It was a bit of contention. I wanted to throw the old Screamadelica in our top 50, and we had a few Britpop purists who kindly let me know that shouldn't be anywhere near there.
But you didn't care. You didn't care.
They were British and it was in the 90s. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, Screamadelica is just...
That's how loose my criteria was.
Yeah, Screamadelica is something... I mean, and where I live, I'm in the centre of Manchester, so where the Hacienda was is literally at the bottom of my road, basically. So you've got all that kind of stuff just around there. And Tony Wilson Place is just like at the bottom of our road as well. So, yeah,
brilliant.
All that stuff.
Awesome. Well, look, guys, thank you so much for your time today and join us on the podcast. We'd love to round it off with one more from your EP. We'd love to play Escape, but before we do, again, talk to us a bit about this track.
Shelley, do you want to do because you worked on the melody with Lee on this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So this one is a bit more of it's a bit more expressive. It's kind of around, when you spend a lot of time trying to achieve something. You work so hard to achieve something, but you just feel like you're treading water and you don't seem to get there. You feel a bit trapped, and you're just looking for that escape. So that's the kind of the sentiment behind that song.
Yeah, and I guess for my part, like from the guitar parts I'm doing on this is when I was listening to that Brian Eno stuff I was talking to, tried to put like some space in the higher bits of the guitar, and that's what I was thinking about in the verse bits. So yeah, that's my bit on it.
Brilliant. Well, just before we play it, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it. I've loved getting to chat to you, get to know a bit better, and hopefully our listeners have enjoyed the conversation and also the great music that we've played. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks for having me.
guys.
Cheers.
The lovely, if love was easy to me. Here inside I follow with all the music in me. Lay me down, get to find where is my tomorrow? Where is my tomorrow? Slowly above the air completely, though my mind is hollow, I hear the music in me again. This is never ending. This is never ending. This will not confine me. This will not define me.